And welcome back to the next lecture. I'm going to, let's just get rid of this, click and delete. I'm going to delete that. We're going to drag footage onto the timeline and cut these shots and stuff. And also I've got here in your download, you have options to do this. You can either use the audio that came with the shot, or I've also recorded this audio separately, slightly better. We'll show you how to put these on the timeline, match them up, all the different ways. I've also turned on, you can see in the bottom here, if I click A, if I click B, if I click spacebar, if I click delete, I've got my keys coming up here because there are some shortcuts that you probably want to use. Rather than go over here and then click A or click B, it takes a long time. You can just click A and it changes. So I've got those on the bottom here so you can see whatever it is that I'm doing as I do it. So multiple ways to get footage onto the timeline and to cut this up. As we saw before, let me pause that, spacebar. I could just choose the bit I wanted here and then drag that onto timeline, or I could click this and I can just have the whole shot if I wanted to. I could grab this whole shot, drag this all onto my timeline. Over here, let me show you. If I click that, move it, we zoom in, zoom out. At the bottom here, you can see the audio waveforms. These are visual representation of my speaking. These are great to use because they pretty much show you where you should or shouldn't be cutting footage to get it neater, quicker, neater. Cut this together. If you have a long shot where you're sat talking and you talk for a bit, you pause, talk some more, pause, you're going to see talking and disappearing, like there's a gap here and a gap there. I could cut those out. Once again, I could click B, I could click the blade tool. If I went like, I can see there's no talking here, right? I could click that there. Then I can click A to get my cursor back, click on this, click delete, and then that's it. It's taken that first bit away. So you can do that if you wanted to, or whilst I've got A selected here, I could click this and you see if I wanted the footage to start, say here, for example, I could just drag the end there and you see it snap back. And if I wanted to, I could drag that back. It's non-destructive, so I can keep the footage never disappears. So I can drag from the beginning, or if I scroll along to the end, for example, or even quicker, I could just make it shorter like this, put my cursor there, zoom back in, and it's on the end. I could once again, I can see I stopped talking here, or maybe here. If I wanted to, I can click and just spacebar and play. Oh, so I must finish around, let's see this. Finish recording audio. Let's go back more. Let's zoom out to make it, okay, it looks like I'm still talking here. Production. And I think it all happens in editing. Pause, spacebar. Now I know that I finished talking there. I could just grab that and just drag it to the end if I wanted to. So that's a way to do it if you wanted. It depends on you, your editing preference. And if you have one long shot and you know there's loads of pausing involved, that's probably the best way to do it. You can just cut the bits out using B and using a blade tool, cut, and then go ahead, select them with A and delete them. However, with this shot and the one that you're using, if I double click that, spacebar to pause it, I know that I talk in one long piece. First, I talk about, I say, and if you watch it yourself, I say, okay, this is the footage that we're going to use, blah, 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 blah. And then I talk from the beginning and I talk to the end. So if I just drag along here, go along. All right, I start right about there. So if I go from here and I click the I marker once again, I for in, and then I come to near the end of the footage. And I think it all happens in editing. Spacebar to pause it, O for out, in, out marker. I'm just going to delete this. Now, if I go back on this, click on, you see it's selected that bit still. If I grab that bit, drag it on, now you can see it's 44 seconds, 24. I've just got the bit that I wanted here. I love editing. And it finishes. If I wanted to, I wanted to finish right there. Now I can zoom back in a bit more and I want it to finish right on that bit there. Let's just drag that back and have it finish here. This is how we get the footage onto the timeline, and depending whether you want to drag the whole thing on here, trim it in the timeline, or trim it beforehand here, or trim the most of it out of here, drag it on, and then do the finer trimming inside. For example, if I zoom in here, I can see there's a bit of a gap right there. Let me play that and see what it does. So I could have taken out that tiny pause if I wanted to. I don't want to for this, but you may have longer pauses that you do want to remove. Now, the great thing about this, seeing the audio waveform, if I click it, I can see up here, audio. I've got the audio here. I can change how loud it is if I move that up. Putting in things, it's a little bit too loud. Let's put it to 0. But what it's going to really help with is this. This is the audio footage that you have because I've recorded audio separately. It's a better quality. It's with the microphone I'm recording with right now. Let me double click that. Now I did this earlier. Let me just play this with the space bar. I'm going to click in marker and then I'm just going to drag that onto here. I listen to it, but the good thing you can do here, let me zoom in. Now you see these have these waveforms here. We can match them up and make it really easy for us. First, let's click on here. Let's go to the volume. Let's just put it up 10 because it's recorded a bit quieter. You might want to do that too. And I can see these waveforms here, right? And if I look really carefully, let's zoom in a tiny bit more here. You see that's just slightly out there. Let me zoom across. So it looks like I go, I've made this, let's make this slightly louder again. Put that down, let's go to here. Let's listen to these. I love editing. Slightly out, I can hear it. So now I'm gonna just go to here. I can see that this is where the main part stays there. Let's click that there. Looks like I'm missing a bit from the start. Let's go back. Okay, now I've matched those audios up. Now I can click this. Let me just put the audio for our main shot to minus. So now it's, you see the waveform disappeared here. Now if I play this, watch the screen. I love editing. Video editing, So now it's got a much better quality audio. It's a bit too quiet. Let me turn it up. Love it. Now you can hear that nice crisp audio. I love editing. Video editing, I just love it. It's the most magical part of the production process. Sure. Now, you've got amazing audio now linked with this. If you want to ever, if you move this, like if I move this over here by mistake, I go, oh no, that wasn't in the right place. Now I've got to match these exactly. I can go back on this. I could go onto audio and I can put this back up again and I can see the waveforms and I can match them up. Or of course, Control Z, undo it, and put it back to where we were. Now let's listen to this one more time. I love editing. Video editing, I just love it. You can also see right here, it thinks it peaks slightly over the top. That's okay, it's not too much. If you wanted to, you could bring this down, click on it again, click down slightly, make it like 14, and it's just peaking a tiny bit. It's the most magical. Okay, so now we've got ourselves maybe a 40-second or so video in here with synced audio. You can see it goes over the end. Let's play the end here. Video production, and I think it all happens in editing. Oh, so that finished exactly there, but you can see that the audio does not. So I'm going to just drag this back. I could select B and I could just cut this right there if I wanted to, and I can then click A, click this and then delete it. But let me show you the other way. So if you wanted to, you can just hover over the end, you get that cursor sign and boom, it matches, and now it does this in editing and pauses. Now we've got exactly what we want, our first edit. I love editing. Great, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here and I'm going to export this. So the next video is just this video. After each time I do an effect now or I do something, I'm going to export it and you're going to see the video. It's only 40 seconds or so. You probably don't need to watch this that much for this one, but I'm just going to export this so you're going to see where you are and where you should be right now with what your video looks like. So the next video is watching this. We haven't done anything with the color, we haven't done anything grade, with effects, with text, nothing like that. All we've done is export it and we've matched the audio now to this, and we've cut out any rubbish that we didn't want. I'm going to export that. That's the next video. And then let's get into the lecture after that, where we're going to add some B-roll. So these shots look a bit boring. I'm just sat right here. Let's add some B-roll and make it a little bit more exciting. Okay, I'll see you in 2 lectures time.